Ah, there you are. I do apologize. I was way late, and
Welcome to Hotel Transylvania. We hope you have a monster of a good time.
And I said, well, it was in the book, Peter.
Keep it rolling, Mitch. I just want to try something.
Hi, I'm David Molina.
I'm Sue Shakespeare.
And I'm Terry Shakespeare. And this is Creative Capers Entertainment. Creative Capers is basically a creative think tank. We have a lot of different things we can do. One thing that we do best is create new worlds and design characters and do design work for all kinds of companies in Hollywood and worldwide.
It's a pooling of really solid, strong creative talent in one place that is available to Fortune 500 companies, the Disney's, DreamWorks, Universal Studios of the world, as well as advertising groups and smaller organizations. It's a combination of creative ability that is made available to the world at large and to clients throughout the world.
In a nutshell, Creative Capers is all about family entertainment. And we mean by that, we mean in family entertainment, cartoons, design, theme park, etc., etc.
I found Creative Capers through actually one of the workers here, Alarise. She contacted me asking if I would be interested in working as a freelancer on an animation project they had going at the time.
I found them through another friend of mine. We were starting our own studio, and that's how I met Terry, Sue, and Dave for the first time.
I got my opportunity to work as a freelancer for Creative Capers from someone that I had met through Women in Animation. Her name's Jessica. She works here. It was around Christmas time and they were shorthanded, so she recommended me to help out for a few weeks, and it kind of started from there.
Creative Capers actually found me. I went to film school and I did a couple different internships while I was there. And I met someone that worked here, Matt Bates, and yeah, it was about 2 years after that internship that I just got a call one day, and he was like, "Hey, you edit, right? Like, we need an editor." And I was like, "Yeah, I sure do."
Actually, Alarise brought me to Creative Capers. So I was originally working in the TV industry, and I came across, I've known Alarise for 10 years. She's a family member of mine. So I emailed her one day asking if she was looking for someone who needed a production coordinator or an assistant, and they just so happened to need one.
I'd say the atmosphere here at Creative Capers is creativity number one, you know, and making a place that people are comfortable. A feeling of family is really important. We don't have a time clock for everyone to punch in. A lot of this we learned from working at Don Bluth and Disney. Is having a comfortable place that people want to come to work and be creative, and people that are listened to for their ideas and creativity.
We entered into the entertainment business very similar, all three of us. We all three started at Don Bluth Studios formally.
So that's where we learned everything and got our quality standards.
We learned from all these great teachers and these great organizations we work for, and then said we want to do this for ourselves and branched out on our own.
What do I do here? Man, I do a lot of different things.
What I do at Creative Capers is that I'm an animator and designer.
Sometimes I'm a producer, sometimes an assistant producer, sometimes a production manager.
Project managing, painting, animating, creating vector assets.
And sometimes I'll do storyboards, kind of a bit of everything.
I am a character designer when they need me. I am a storyboard artist. I do some animation when it's needed.
I was hired as an editor. I do some compositing and like a lot of the digital software things.
Storyboarding. I do some voice acting, so I've gotten to do some scratch tracks here at work.
So a little bit of everything, just keeping it fresh.
When we started out, we had very little work, and then Disney came to us when they started to grow with their software division, and they were looking for animation houses to do their animation. So a friend of ours came to us and asked us if we wanted to work on a game called Mickey Mania, which is a Mickey Mouse game, obviously. And so that was the beginning. We started hiring people and figuring out, we never done that before. So we invented everything, rented a space, and then built a little team. And then Disney gave us more work and more games and more games. So finally, we were doing like 5 games simultaneously over the years. But that was the first defining moment, I would say.
So what I love most about working at Creative Capers is that the atmosphere here is very friendly. It's like working with a big family. And we get to work on so many different projects and for so many different clients.
It's really an environment of playfulness, which I think is something that I didn't have in a corporate setting. So I'm really grateful to be able to do that now.
A really great group of friends on top of being a work environment. And I think that actually adds to our work and adds to the storytelling and makes things stronger.
I think what's most exciting is just to be able to learn new things based on the projects that we get in. We're not cubicles just doing one job and that's all we do. It's a small studio. Depending on the projects, we learn new software, we rise to every challenge, and we meet the needs of our clients. So it's always exciting.
The creativity involved taking something and creating something from just words.
And now, in color, The Wonderful World of Walt.
There was an incident happened one time. I like animals. We had this big yard, and a friend of mine raised goats.
The Wonderful World of Walt came from David and I, of course, our love for Walt Disney we've had our whole life is a big part of that, but we were given a lot of recordings of Walt that he did in the late 50s, early 60s for his daughter for a book. And it's hours and hours of interviews and very, frank and personal Walt interview. It's not the kind you would see on a TV show. It was just really him. Stop motion animation is something that we never played around with, or very little in the past. And it's just something in our career we didn't pass that. And so we thought we needed a project for that. So just one day we just said, why don't we build a Walt puppet and do something with these recordings and combine those passions we have. So we did. So we started designing, and we've never done this before. So we did it as a learning experience. Started designing Walt, and we've seen a lot of caricatures out there online, and some we like, some we don't. And then we thought, well, how would we draw or design Walt, as a character? So we went to work drawing the character and design when we were happy with that. We started sculpting him in 3 dimension. At the same time, we were trying to learn how you build a skeleton armature for a puppet.
And we just took everything on. It was like a project of love,
Yeah, it's like
just building it at nights and
going to YouTube. How do you, and look how they make hands, and getting ideas from that.
And just receiving the comments from people and the feedback. Folks at Pixar, really high-level executives in Hollywood have called us and said, "Oh my gosh, I love it. It's so great."
Good evening. It's me, Scary Terry.
Oh man, spooktacular. Like a lot of us are into that time of year. So we decided to do a little horror film, Capers horror film. We put Terry in makeup and everything. It was fantastic. Actually, so Terry, he was sitting in this room actually, and we had set decorated and everything, and he said all the lines, and it was great, but it wasn't quite the sound that we wanted. And so we recorded David saying the lines over in this other voice and actually lip sync David's voice to Terry's performance. And that's like what made it.
Creative Capers would have been done a long time ago and over with. We've had a lot of high times and low times, but through it all, we've always had a lot of different hats we wear in the entertainment industry, and those have come in handy in bringing us through the lean times.
The advice I'd give to anyone who's looking to get into the animation industry would be to practice all the time.
You have to be passionate about it because it takes a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of time, a lot of practice.
All the tools are there available to you, easier than they've ever been before. So like, just go out and make it and hone yourself.
To remember that in a production setting for animation, you're a part of a team. So be a valuable team member.
It's the connections that you make that are really important, and trying to understand people who maybe you wouldn't always get to know, because they can sometimes be some of your best connections. And also just forming really genuine bonds, and also remembering to be true to yourself.
Network is very important. You never know who might be able to give you your first job, and from there you just kind of keep creating new contacts and just go from there.
The other big piece of advice is like going to school. If you're going to school for this, like internships, like you learn so much more on the job than you will ever learn in a classroom, and just do as much as you can until you're like exhausted, because that's really what's going to make the difference at the end of the day.
For us, when we think of new media and what's coming in the future, we've already been looking at that. Our entire careers, we've been looking forward to what's coming in the future. We have a little saying, it's evolve or die. And we've watched a lot of folks in the film industry and the TV industry basically die. They didn't evolve. 2D artists didn't evolve to 3D. 3D artists aren't evolving into some of the new media. So we've always been sort of at that leading edge in our own small way of doing projects for new technology. So for us, it's very exciting, and it's something that keeps us excited about the future and new projects to do, just looking for new technologies. We always say we will put more budget on screen or in the viewing format than anybody else, because that's what we do. We deliver really, really high quality, and we can do it budgetarily, very consciously budgetarily. So new technology helps in those endeavors.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Underworld Players presentation of That Villain Jafar Has Returned, and he's really, really mad.
There, good as new, or maybe even better.
No longer will you be cast down into the bowels of the earth. Well, unless I put you there. And who better to lead the way than some of the villains who made this all possible? Well, let's give them a hand, shall we?
All right, who's been messing with my book? Whoa!